Lessons from 25 years ago. Lessons from 25 years ago.
Thank you so much, TOD, Toastmaster RTA. A couple of words were missed in that title. It was titled as Beyond Technology, Lessons from my 25 years of experience in IT. Happy morning, healthy morning, good morning, Toastmasters and distinguished guests here. I'll provide the opportunity for you to ask a question towards the end. 25 years ago, I stepped into my first IT job, believing that if I become technically brilliant, my career is taken care of. That sounds logical, right? And the engineering college taught me the same. Study hard, get good marks, learn programming language, solve problems, you will become successful. That's exactly I did for many years. Learned technology, solved problems, I got promoted. I was traveling across countries. I became a technology director. I was leading global architecture team. From outside, everything looked successful. What I learned that surprised me was over the period, the lessons I learned was nothing to do with technology. Let me pick up 3 lessons that I learned. First lesson is that came very early. I was thinking that technology can solve all the problems. Then I jumped into real projects. Server failed, application crash, lot of errors, customer escalation. That's when I learned that most problems were not due to technology. They came from people. Software was not broken, but relationship were. Miscommunication, assumption, lack of clarity, lack of trust, conflicting priorities. It's all made to this all became a problem, not the technology. So I know technology is complicated. What I learned was people are more complicated compared to technology. That was my first lesson. My second lesson, after years, I was promoted as an architect, then eventually as a director of technology. What I thought is leaders should know all the answers. Until when I used to answer all the questions of my team, right? So whenever they come to me, immediately answer the question. Until one day, my boss came to me and said, Raju, why are you answering all the questions of the team? I proudly said, right? Because I know the answer. That's your problem, Raju. If you answer all the questions for your team will stop thinking. That acted as a catalyst for me to switch over from tech hat to leadership hat. From then on, I stopped answering all the questions of my team, but I asked, in return, I asked questions so that they can think about. So what I saw is team has become stronger, not because I become smarter, they become independent. And the biggest lessons came much later. Pressure. Most of the IT leaders and managers can relate here, right? Know the feeling of that. One production outage, tires will start. Customer escalation and a lot of calls to you, and senior management will waiting for you. Everyone will look at you not for technical expertise, but for confidence. During one such event, what I learned was most of the time people forgot how we say, but they will never forget how we behaved during that situation. See, basically, leaders are tested not when everything is going well. Leaders are tested when nothing goes well. That was my third lesson. And last one was very unexpected lesson. When I came home very late, I immediately opened the laptop. My wife came to me and said, "What have you done for the day?" I told her mostly. Then she said, "Even if your laptop closes, your mind doesn't." That stuck with me because it's true. That statement acted as a catalyst to think about me, right? I was building system, I was managing projects, I was able to manage a big team, but I was not learn to manage myself. That changed the way I look at life. If you look back, what I found is lessons I learned were not around technology, were around people, because they only taught me life. Let me open up for a question, Q&A session. If you have any questions, raise your hand. We'll pick up and ask. You can ask the question. We have next 7 to 8 minutes.
So what kind of questions would you ask when your teammates come to you?
I will ask them, rephrase the question they asked me in a different way and make them to think. For example, if they come and ask me at the time, right? So, Raju, if this Java library is good to solve this problem or other library, I will put the question back to them. What do you think, Priya, about this library? What do you think about this library? How do you compare it? Which one can fit to do this? Is that the answer?
Yeah. So you are talking about leadership qualities which you built over a period of years. Suddenly you ask that phrase caught my attention. Even if you close your laptop, your mind is open. How do you deal with people who keep their laptop open but close their mind? That's a leader.
So let me clarify this question. Are you saying that people are pretending as though they are working?
Yeah, people like me keep their laptop open but close their mind.
Okay. So two things I do. One is I fix that problem when they come in. I recruit into that. I recruit people not only know technology, not only know technically, what is their attitude? 70% of my questions will be around attitude question. That's how I take things. There itself, solved, almost 70 to 80%. Then I used to mentor them if they attitude is something different, interview might fail, right? I used to mentor them, see whether they change. If not, I used to follow the policy of fire fast, hire slow. Fire fast, hire slow. Does that answer?
No, I couldn't get that. What is it? Fire fast?
Fire fast.
Okay.
People send the people faster outside. But a hire slow,
Hire
so
slow.
you get people.
Can you please repeat again? Higher?
Fire
Fire
fast,
fast.
hire
slow.
slow. Any other question? Okay.
The one thing which you mentioned, like whenever you close the laptop, you don't close the mind. That happens every time. Say for example, when you're in a big position, 24 hours you should be in the same topic or you should be thinking of that. But how do you balance work and life in this scenario? So we are in top level.
Hey, very good question. This is I really experienced because whenever I come home, even though one time, a lot of time my wife asked me that, she will be talking to me, but eventually she will, last question she will ask, did you get what I said? No, what did you say? As to, not to, I don't remember that right, or what she is saying, because my mind is constantly thinking about how to handle the client escalation next day, how to go through the appraisal process. A lot of things happen, right? One thing I helped me was, that's what I learned towards the end of my career. One practice called brain dump that I was doing before going to bed. I was taking a paper, noting down whatever the thoughts come to my mind in a paper, I trash that paper. By doing that, I was able to minimize the overthinking or thoughts coming into my mind. Does that answer? Even on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
brain seems it might work. Sure. Got it.
You've been in IT for 25 years and as a leader as well. Myself being in IT for the past 12 years, it has been a hard lesson and harsh truth for me that hard work will not always get you the desired results. But it's about projecting yourself to the management. And sometimes I feel there is no transparency either from the top. All they want is give important works to the people who work hard, but they are not rewarded with, they are only rewarded with work. But as a leader, and also someone who has grown into that position, what are some characteristics which you can tell us so that we'll be able to project ourselves better rather than keep working hard and think we'll get the results?
That's a very interesting question and a very good question, Karthik. Thanks for asking that. What I learned in my leadership is, again, as I said earlier, it's not about technology. It's all about people. Whether to manage your own team or manage higher up as well. Building a very good relationship. Learning about conflict management, negotiation skill. Negotiation skill I found is very, very important at both the levels. To manage your customer, manage your higher ups, manage your team as well. And definitely leadership quality. Most importantly, your mentorship qualities. That's how you can learn leadership as well. I'm not saying I learned a lot, but whatever I gained through this experience, does that answer? Thank you. Do you have time? Sorry. Any more questions?
Generally, growth gets stagnated after maybe like 15 years or so. So how do you see that?
I don't feel growth. Okay, so I concur with your questions. Right. But I also differ from that because growth doesn't stagnate if you're an unused learner. That's what I saw in my experience in my leadership level, right? It's not about role per se. Even take up a role of mentoring. It's how I was doing in my role as well, right? So wherein I was picking up other team member architect as well and mentoring them for their growth as well. That also led me to get additional responsibility to manage other technology and other projects. Thank you.
If you are called back by your previous organization again, but provided with a team full of Gen Z workforce, are you confident of handling them?
See, depends. This generation's that's what my experience based on dealing with my son and other folks. Little different, but same. I think similar. Thing can be followed in here as well. That's what I think. That's how I'm trying to apply all this. What I learned with my son first is to working to 60%, 40% is not working. But I think we also need to learn how to manage them as well, right? So, over the time, I'm also learning. Earlier, he was not concurring with me for anything. Now he's at least concurring with me for 60%. That's how I'm learning from the Gen Z folks as well. Definitely, we have to learn. Yes.
Leaders are tested when nothing goes well. So that statement, how do you justify that? In your
That's
case?
my, that's also a very good question, right? Because based on my experience, that's how I saw. Let me relate to one of the event, right? One of the situation. I was called upon to firefight a project because every time any technology something happens, people pull me in. I went there. The program manager said, "Okay, I don't need managers here. I need whoever can fix this current technical problem." That's when what I did is I rolled up my sleeves, sit there with the developer and solve the problem. That is what being judged for the leadership, according to me, based on my experience. Not when things goes well. Things goes well, I don't think nobody cares because everything is going well.
Did you have any important lesson learned based on any concern or feedback raised from your subordinates?
See, very good, again, very good question. A lot of good questions are coming up. Like appraisals, right? I do for my team. I do my own appraisals with the team. I call upon, it's not a random, some random chit-chatting in the tea counter or cafe. It's a real thing. I used to do every 3 months the team. I call upon, maybe not all the team members, few team members, and ask for feedback. That's how I also learned a lot of things from them, and I also learned how to manage those, the bigger team. Any more question? No. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very insightful session and lot of things to learn for us. Before we move on to the next section, timer, can you confirm if both the speakers are qualified?
So, okay, considering overall time, both the speakers are qualified, Sundararaman and Narasimharaju.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So before I hand over to the next section, let's briefly return to today's theme.